Hello, friends. Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be setting up the month of March in my half-letter Discbound planner. We'll decorate a monthly spread and a currently page for my memory planning section, so come play with me. And I've got some washi tapes here ready to go, along with a few pens that I may be using, some craft label paper, and this Happy Planner sticker book, which I'll pull from. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and start with some wax paper to work out this design. I have some craft label paper that I've had in my stash for quite a while, so I'm going to go ahead and try to use it up on the spread. Thinking of a desert theme, so I think that the craft paper will be a good match for some sandy background ideas. I went ahead and ripped off a piece from a page I had already stamped for a previous spread. I'm just trying to use the extras that I had there first. There are 4 empty days at the end of the month of March, so we'll concentrate some of our decor down here at the bottom, adding in these cacti and desert flower images to get the vibes going. I decided to do this theme for March because in the deserts of California, there is usually a floral bloom around March. And this year is supposed to be a super bloom, which I believe is the name of this Happy Planner sticker book. So I thought it would be nice to do a seasonal theme, but not a, rainbows and shamrock type theme, something a little bit different, but still seasonal. So I am going to go ahead and set up the entire bottom, it looks like, for this desert theme, just kind of making a collage of all the different florals and the cacti and seeing how that looks on the page. Since I am going to be adding in a highlight each day as a part of my memory keeping practice, I do want to keep those last 3 days of the month fairly open, at least as much as I can, so that I have room for that highlight for the day. So I'm going to try to be a little more strategic there on the left as far as where I'm placing stickers and how far they go into the functional space. And I was going through the sticker book, seeing what all I had at my disposal. And there's a couple of pages here with these clear stickers. Some of them are small, some are about medium size, and then there's some extra large ones. So I'll try to work them in kind of a dimensional way as far as giving you a sense of depth as you're looking at the spread. Having the smallest of the stickers near the back, and then the closer you get to the front, if you will have larger stickers, so that it gives you that idea that you're looking at something from far away and things are getting closer to you. There is a little bit of a challenge though, because I don't have a lot of room down here at the bottom, so we'll work in what we can and then see where that takes us. Also thinking about pulling in some washi tape now, and I pulled these 2 green washi tapes. One is a really light one, which I didn't think worked very well, and then I got a darker one that I think I'll be using. Tried the Van Gogh yellow style washi tape and didn't feel like that was a good fit, even though the yellow does match up with the flowers. I think it just wasn't quite right with the craft paper background. So we'll keep that to the side. I also wanted to add in some red so that the main colors are the green and the red. And I have a red washi there ready to go. So we'll see how this works in. I do feel like the red washi I pulled though is a little bit more orange than the red I have there in the flowers and a majority of the stickers. So we'll see what we end up with. But I definitely want to focus in on those 2 colors as far as the main colors of the spread, and then using the craft paper as kind of the 3rd color as well. Trying to limit colors is a really good idea, especially when you have a lot going on. Here we have a lot of green, red, and yellow, plus the craft paper. So I really wanted to kind of minimize as much as possible the color scheme. And I feel like the yellow can work as a tie-in with the craft paper, so that takes one color out of the equation, and then adding in the green tone and the red tone as the other colors just gives you a somewhat limited color palette using tones of all the same colors. That way you're not overwhelming the spread with color and confusing yourself as far as where to look and where the focus is. So I added a little bit of that craft paper to the top just for some added vibrancy up there. And now I've pulled in a quote that says "live in the moment," which I thought was a good one for this memory keeping section. I did cut the "live" part out and stacked it so that I could fit it there in the sidebar, and really working the angles there to make sure nothing is getting cut off as far as text. One problem I had with this sticker book though is that all of these stickers, for some reason, when you pull them up, are splitting like in weird ways, like as if they were cut or pre-cut. So I'm not real sure about why that's happening. You can just see that happen once again with this circle, or I guess more of an oval shape sticker here in the solid red. It just kind of just broke, and I don't know what the deal is with this sticker book, but yeah, that was a bit of a problem with pretty much all of the larger stickers I pulled. I hate to waste though, especially if something is a good fit, so we're going to try to match up those seams and make it look like nothing happened. We'll see. We'll see what comes up. And I did decide to change out that red washi tape, pulling in a red grid washi. Hopefully that will be a little bit of a better fit as far as the colors, because I do feel like the other red was a little too orange. Pulled in a smidge more of the green at the top using another sticker from that sticker book, and I think we've got a good start to get things on the page. Let's go ahead and start preparing the spread using a white gel pen to white out the empty areas there at the bottom. And as that dries, I'll go ahead and work in this washi tape. And we'll put in this whole bottom section here in one fell swoop. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. Just trying to line things up. I did realize after the fact that I pushed the left side kind of high into those boxes, which I was trying to avoid. I had planned it with the bottom portion being a little bit more down and off of the page, but I think we can still make it work, and that way I don't have to pick things up and try to replace them. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm also going to go ahead and drop in the rest of the sidebar. Again, just trying to make sure everything lines up nicely so you don't see any of those broken seams. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out a little bit more of this top piece of craft sticker paper, so I'm not covering up the month. I did the same thing over here on the right with the date, so I think that will just look better having them both showing and nothing partially hidden. Lay in this last piece of washi tape now, and then we'll trim out the edges, separating the pages as well. I do like to save any larger items, so if I do any trimmings that I think I can reuse, I will put them back either in the sticker book or on the wax paper for the backside. And I do want to add a little bit more whiteout behind this floral. We'll go ahead and do that. Trim more of this sticker paper. And then I use my sticker spatula just to cement things down. And that's looking really good. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the currently page. And I will add a bit of that craft paper to get going. Just make a small area down here for some more of those desert blooms and cacti. And I did like the overlap there, kind of creating a look more of, again, dimension with maybe dunes overlapping. So we'll put those in. And now I'm going to try to pull in some of these really awkward boxes that Happy Planner was including for a while. I don't know if there still are, but I think it's supposed to be like a weekend box, or maybe no, you know what this is? It's a dashboard classic size layout box. And I don't know, when they do specific themed box sizes, I just really tend to not like that. So we're going to try to reuse these boxes in another way by cutting them apart and using those for the currently items I'll be setting up here. I also dropped in a larger quote that says "Beauty among the thorns" and has some cacti kind of built into that sticker. I'll put that hidden a little bit there behind the sand dunes of craft label paper. And then again, I'm going to try to reuse these dashboard layout boxes by cutting them up and then layering them together so that they don't look cut up, like they look layered, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So hopefully this will work. I decided to pull in one more of those boxes. I was hoping for red, but all they had was this kind of, I don't know, warm pink tone that I thought, I guess, was close enough to the red to pull in, and added a bit more of that red coloring in a different tone there with the boxes, since everything else I had was green. So we're going to try to work that one in. I did pull out one more circle sticker. It says "Noted" there at the top for some more red up there. And now we'll just try to figure out a configuration of all these boxes that fits and also camouflages those cut edges. I was able to use that one piece there by adding just a little bit of the trim piece from one of the sides and make it look like it's a full box. So I'll end up doing that again with one of the other cut pieces. Even though I don't think I ended up doing it on camera, I did it just after the video when I noticed I forgot to do it. But that's a really nice way to kind of cheat the system and make it work, make it look like something that it really actually isn't. And just layering them up, like I said. I didn't end up writing in the headers this month while I was filming, but I'm sure I'll do something like what I'm reading, what I'm watching, eating. Those are usually standards. Sometimes what I'm listening to. And then I also like to add in highlights, which is kind of a nice thing that I started doing this year. Just little call outs that make the month unique from other months. So that, I'm sure, will be a few of the boxes, and we'll figure it out. We'll get it in there. I did want to add a little bit of the washi tape since I didn't have any yet on the spread. So we're just going to try to fit it in here. Add more of that red and green color palette. Rework these florals a little bit and use up some trimmings. And then let's go ahead and start moving things over to the spread. I definitely wanted to adjust everything so that none of the boxes were in the spine area. So I do end up doing a little bit of finagling, which you'll see here in a minute. And we dropped in the bottom piece. Let's go ahead and drop in some of these other pieces. Those nestle in well. And then here I realized that I just had these two boxes and I did not want that in the spine. So I ended up making some adjustments. That quote there, I felt like if I could just shift it over a little bit would help a lot with the spacing. So we're going to try to do that real quick. I don't know if I moved that enough. And then also there's a cut there. So let's go ahead and fix that. Get this moved over. The struggle was real here, just trying to move it over enough without showing that bottom piece. I think I got it going. And that looks good. So that darker green square at the bottom is the one that I forgot to close up, but I do that off camera. Looking to see if there's any more cacti or florals to add down here at the bottom for a little more oomph. Trim off all of the edges, make it look nice and clean. And I did want to look for something for that one space that you can kind of see there between the boxes, but then decided a little white space never hurt nobody. So we're going to leave that as is. And that's pretty much going to do it for us, friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!